Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys.
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Are you ready for Sacrilegious Book Club?
Sounds like a plan.
Let's do it then.
Okay.
We are we're doing Asimov's Guide to the Bible. We're still in the Old Testament.
Right.
The Book of Numbers.
Okay.
And the section we're covering today is pages 174 through 184.
All right.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Hey, wife.
Yes, husband.
Did you know that we are now on Patreon?
Yes, because you told me, but also, no, tell me more.
So we're on Patreon now.
Are we?
We are, and our supporters can go there and support us, and we have multiple levels all the way up to You Killed God.
That sounds really drastic and escalated quickly-ish.
Well, no, there's multiple levels before there, so it escalates on a sliding scale of, cheap to not cheap.
Oh.
But, we can definitely use any amount, so, any support is always appreciated.
So what exactly is Patreon?
It's a place where you can show your support for our podcast. And
just our podcast?
Any podcast or any performer. But, we're the ones that, you're listening to right now. So maybe you should, support us. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. But we love you anyway.
So all you got to do is go to Patreon, look up Sacrilegious Discourse. It's actually patreon.com/Sacrilegious Discourse is our actual main page there. So head on over and send us some love.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to start on page 174.
174?
With the Serpent of Brass.
Ah.
Yeah, remember I told you we were going to talk about that?
Yep.
And I said, hold that in your little head.
Right.
And
yeah, I
like,
loved
okay.
this thing when it happened, because I was like, what? They built a serpent of brass and then unpoisoned and unkilled people?
Yeah.
Or whatever?
Yeah.
Unpoisoned them. Yeah.
Yeah, so that actually happened in Numbers chapter 21, verse 9. A plague of serpents harassed the Israelites so that Moses made a serpent of brass and put it upon a pole. And if a man bitten by a serpent saw the brass serpent, then that man lived.
Right.
Yay.
It's crazy.
So Asimov points out that this is called sympathetic magic, where like affects like. And he compared it to like voodoo.
Got it.
Like sticking a pin and then a mago will
Right.
impact the person represented by that avatar of them.
Sure.
So This is what he specifically says, okay?
Yeah.
The use of the serpent, as described in this verse, is rather similar to the principles of homeopathic medicine, which follows the, quote, hair of the dog that bit you sort of reasoning.
Okay.
You know, like, you drink alcohol and then the next morning you drink more alcohol to relieve the hangover.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
Okay.
So, you know, the snake represented...
More snake.
Yeah. Yeah. You scared of snake? More snake.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So then he says
the
later, the serpent is a particularly important animal in religious ritual, whether for good or evil. The fact that a serpent moves in so quiet and hidden a fashion and strikes so suddenly and so unexpectedly with so poisoned a fang makes it an obvious representation of cunning and evil.
Right.
He also says something that is dangerous and evil is to be feared, and something that is feared had better be treated well and propitiated, so that serpents could be worshipped even while dreaded.
I never thought I'd say this about a snake, but our Dwight, our snake that we have,
our corn
he's kind of
snake.
cute. He's kind of cute.
So cute, right?
He's kind of cute, yeah.
Like when you see those little memes of little snakes with little hats on their heads.
Right? He's totally one of those snakes.
That's our guy,
right?
Our guy Dwight.
And he's got such a personality.
He does. And okay, snakes aren't supposed to like respond to you, like if you call their name.
Bullshit.
But this snake, like literally when I walk in the room, if I'm not saying anything, he might peek his head out, he might not. But if I call him Dwight,
he comes out.
He comes out of his little hide.
What you need? What you need? What's up? What's up,
like,
man?
What, Mom? And it's not to eat me either, because I've got him out and I have held him and I let him like crawl around on me and stuff, and he does not try to bite me because corn snakes don't do that sort of thing.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He's a good boy. B-O-I boy. Yeah, he's a nice boy.
Right.
Yeah. He's not a nope rope.
No, he's not a nope rope.
He's an adorbs. That's what he is.
Yes.
I love him so much. I want to kiss him, but let's not go that far.
Right, that's...
Like, I want to be able to kiss him, but
also,
when
they poop, they kind of stink really bad.
Yeah,
like it's disgusting.
But like, he's only done that outside of like his terrarium a couple times.
It was mostly early on when
out
he
of
was
fear.
Yeah, when he was, and there was too many people around, maybe or something. But yeah.
Yeah, because our kid was like, let everybody in the world hold them. And then their friends were like, I would love to hold them. And like one of them dropped them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
That was the last time that happened.
Yeah, I was like, nope. And then another one was holding them. And the snake was like crawling all over her hair. And they couldn't understand why. I was like, you know what, guys, let's not do that. And they were like, why? And I'm like, because he might fall again, and he's a little snake.
Right.
And
not so little anymore.
No, he's bigger now.
Right.
Okay, I don't know why we're talking so much about...
Because we were talking about snakes.
Because he's adorable.
He is adorable.
And his name is Dwight, because our child is awesome.
Because of The Office.
Well, duh.
Right.
Because our child is awesome. I thought that was just like, that goes without saying.
Right.
Okay, so... a serpent shedding skin represents immortality. Okay? So, a serpent steals immortality from Gilgamesh and becomes immortal.
I see.
An old Babylonian tale, which we talked about at the time, I believe.
I think so.
Like in a Q&A maybe or something I mentioned that tale is kind of like, what?
Right.
And a serpent steals immortality from Adam and Eve, too. But... in the Gilgamesh tale, the snake becomes immortal because he eats the concoction himself.
I see.
Whereas in the Adam and Eve tale, he steals the immortality but is punished to roam the earth on his belly forever.
Right.
And I'm like, what was he roaming the earth on before? And I do remember we had this whole talk about snakes versus serpents versus lizards versus legless lizards, which are separate from... whatever.
And I distinctly remember the mom snake was pissed off because she lost her legs. All of a sudden, like, God damn it, what did you do?
What did you do? Yeah, exactly. So the immortal serpent, victor over death, can thus be considered the particular associate of the medical profession, which labors to stave off, if not completely conquer death. That's the relation. I remember we couldn't quite get but why? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
And it's because when the snake sheds its skin, it's a sign of its immortality, so they thought.
Right.
And being reborn, and so it's conquered death, and that's what the medical profession does, is at least stave off death.
They also believed in God, so I mean,
Right, true. But I'm just saying, like, that's what that leap was.
Right.
Okay, so Asimov goes on later on as Yahvism, meaning the people who followed Yahweh, grew stronger and more uncompromising. The Serpent of Brass, worshipped by the people, came under sharper and sharper disapproval. The fact of the association with Moses did not save it. Remember, we just read that this week.
Right.
The end of it came in the reign of Hezekiah, king of Judah.
Interesting.
Well, do you remember
he
in
was...
2 Kings, chapter 18, verse 4, goes, when Hezekiah destroyed the serpent, he countered the shot. Okay, I'm sorry. This is not a reading of that verse. This is a quote of Asimov referring to that. Okay. When Hezekiah destroyed the serpent, that brass serpent, he countered the shock of the populace by contemptuously labeling the object as of no ritual value at all, but as nothing more than a piece of brass. So, like, because I don't know if you remember the verse, but he was like, this is just brass, whatever.
Right.
And so that's why he did that, because he was legit trying to say, no, we're not doing things this old pagan way no more.
Right. Well, and the fact that they, I mean, like, it's very idolish, and the fact that they had it out, like, right after Moses got the Ten Commandments about no idols and shit like that. Like, I remember there were certain things, as we were reading through the Moses' bit, where they had some idols, and we're like, wait, they just said don't do that, and now they're doing that, so... And then they did it all the time, but, whatever.
Well, we're going to get into that a little bit here.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you more about that, okay? Which I found some of this just, like, extremely fascinating.
Yeah.
As I do. Okay? But that's that section, okay? The brass serpent. Okay?
Yep.
Now we're reading about Sihon on page 176.
Okay.
Okay? And this is getting into Numbers chapter 2, verse 26. And the reason that I say these is just so that you know kind of like where Asimov is in the Bible as he's talking about this shit.
And then you can go back and listen to our, version of it back then.
Yeah, if you did not get a chance, we often refer to things that we've already read. Because our reading of the Bible is much further ahead. We are in 2 Kings now. And Asimov is only in the Book of Numbers.
Right.
So,
which we may have to slow down at some point because we're going to catch up too far.
Yeah, like the next book after this, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, what comes? Deuteronomy. Right. Is what's next? After Numbers?
Sounds right to me.
Well, whatever book we're reading after this, or whatever book Asimov is covering after this, I looked ahead. And it's only 14 pages long, and so rather than splitting it up into 2 sections of 7 pages each, I'm just going to do the whole thing in one sitting. So yeah, we're going to catch up quick to where we are.
In which case we might pause it for a bit.
We will definitely pause it for a bit. Okay, so anyway, Sihon was the king of the Amorites, okay, and he took the land of the Moabites. He was like, fuck y'all, I'm at war with you, give me that.
Right,
okay?
right.
Now hold that in your head because I'm going to come back to that in just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So Asimov says his attack against the Moabites may have represented the last successful action of the Canaanites against the remorseless pressure of the various Hebrew tribes. Before Sihon's onslaught, Moab controlled the territory up to the Jabbok River.
Oh, okay.
Damn. So it's a big deal.
Right.
So he just slapped the Moabites upside the head. And was like, this is mine now, thank you.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
So that's that section. Next section is Chemosh, page 178.
Okay.
And he's referring to Numbers chapter 22, verse 29, which reads, Woe to thee, Moab, thou art undone, O people of Chemosh. Okay?
Okay.
Chemosh was the national god of Moab.
Ah.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, this is where I'm getting into that god and idol stuff.
Okay.
This was so cool. I'm pretty much quoting from Asimov extensively here. Okay? Because he just said it so straight, I couldn't do it justice by summarizing it.
Right, right.
Okay? So this is Asimov's words here. Only a few thinkers in those primitive times recognized a universal God, which we've talked about before. They were polytheistic, not monotheistic.
Right.
generally, the feeling was that each bit of land had its own god.
And I kind of gathered that at times, like it was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about how, and then they'd enter a new bubble.
Right.
And they would have to clear it with that local god.
Right.
Right? And, okay, so each bit of land had its own god, and that over its own bit of land, each god had godlike power. It was even felt that the god was tied to the land. That if one traveled elsewhere, it became necessary to worship the god of that land unless one carried his own god.
That makes sense.
Yes.
I mean, it makes sense insofar as it explains some of the things that we've read in the Bible. It helps clarify the feeling that people had.
Yes. Yes.
So
it helps explain some things that we had questions about. For example, when Rachel left her father Laban, she stole his idols and took with her. And so when Laban came after Rachel and what was his name? Jacob, I think? I don't remember.
Yeah, that sounds right.
When he came after them, he was less pissed about his daughter being gone than he was about his idol. I don't know if you remember, he was like, give me my fucking idols. Well, the reason that she had taken them was not to punch him in the nuts. It was because she was going into a new land.
Right.
She was taking her God with her into a new land, and he was like, but I need them though. These belong here.
Right.
For this land.
Right.
So, we were talking a couple nights ago in our reading about whether the people worship the idols or not.
Right.
They kind of did, but they worshipped the god of the land via the idols.
Right.
So I would hesitate to say that they worship the idols, but I would also hesitate to say that they didn't. But I think that it's not as black and white as Christians or even anti-theists would have you believe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I would go maybe a step further. I feel like a lot of the worshiping is even in the same land, but for different reasons.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, different gods have better strengths than this, in this area of things versus that.
Fertility versus prosperity versus strength versus... I don't know, just all different kinds of things.
Yeah.
So, the weather.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely. They had different gods. Each land had its own, not just god, but set of gods.
Right. Somebody later down the road decided that this was all going to be one god.
Yeah, I'm going to get there in just a second.
Right.
But he goes on to say, the manner in which the Israelites carried the Ark of the Covenant with them during their travels in the wilderness had a little of the flavor of carrying their God with them.
Right.
Otherwise, one suspects they might have felt it necessary always to travel back to Sinai to commune with him.
Right.
And they didn't. They communed with their God via the ark and the temples that they built later.
But it was convenient. God gave them a portable God.
Yeah.
He was like, build the ark.
But that's what all the idols were.
Right, but none of the other... I mean, yes, so there was idols, but, none of them built an ark to store them in.
Right. Those were personal idols one-on-one.
Right.
This was probably one of the first social mobile idols.
Right.
That was okay, this whole group can carry this idol for the group around with them.
Right.
In a bus.
Oh my God, it has carrying poles.
Yeah.
It's coming towards us now.
Well, I didn't actually think it was that big a deal, but in
the carrying poles are kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. They were
it literally was built to be a mobile god.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Right.
Okay, so he goes on to say, in the religious thought of that day, there was no necessary feeling of antagonism toward the gods of other tribes, provided no actual war was going on and the enemy was not calling upon his God for help in your destruction, as you might be calling on your God for help in their destruction. Right?
But to me, as the Israelites are pushing more and more people out of this land they're going into, they're obviously coming up against more and more gods that they're fighting against.
Yes.
Which then maybe solidifies this into a Yahweh versus the rest type thing.
Yes.
And maybe starts the journey towards a single God mentality.
Exactly. I just thought it was really interesting that, we always think of them as fighting over gods, and they really weren't. They were just fighting over where they wanted to live, their land.
They got pissed off when other gods got invoked against them.
Yes.
That's essentially where the
Yes.
anger stems from.
And it was all about control of land.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
That's what it came down to.
Well, I mean, it's basically stated in the Bible they're trying to usurp this land for themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's where their God wants them to go.
Exactly.
And, there's other gods. Oh, we're going to be mad at them. Okay,
Yeah.
let's conquer them.
Exactly.
Oh, but they hit us back. We hate them.
Their God is stronger than us this day, but not overall.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, once they, they're like, and this is the only God now, because,
And again, I'm going to get there.
Right.
So, the situation might be much the same as in our own feeling for the flags of foreign nations, I loved this analogy.
Right.
Asimov wrote this back in the fucking 60s.
Like that was like eons ago.
I mean, for kids today, it is eons ago.
Yeah, okay, all right.
He wrote this, and think about how much worse or like the feelings of protection over flags.
Right.
Yeah. Has only gotten bigger and stronger and heftier.
It depends on who you ask, actually. I mean, yes, I would agree with you to an extent, but like my feeling about nationalism was stronger when I was younger, versus now it's not as much.
Okay, but the flag means something different now than it did when we were kids.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay? If we are at peace with a foreign nation, international usage requires that... I'm sorry, this is Asimov saying.
Yeah.
Requires that we treat its flag with decent respect, even in our own land.
Right.
Like, we would never drag somebody else's flag through the mud. We'd never let it touch the ground. We would still fold it properly and have respect for it because it is representative of those people.
This is where Asimov fails because he's not in the year 2022 where people wear American flag bandanas.
Yeah. I do wonder what he would say with that.
Right?
Yeah. It would even be, he goes on to say, it would be even more a matter of elementary courtesy to treat the flag of a foreign nation with respect while inside the borders of that nation.
Right.
Which that kind of, I thought, went without saying. But
yeah. No, I distinctly remember, this is just a, when I was in Scouts, we used to go up to Canada every year, and I would spend time with a family up there. And I remember distinctly going to school with them because we would spend the week with the family and go to school and do the whole 9 yards, right? Mm-hmm. And, we would have their morning salute to the flag type thing, and I definitely was told and had no problem getting up and, being respectful. Like, duh. Like, these people are my host, I'm going to be respectful to their flag, and,
of course,
we're going to do this morning little thing that they do.
Right.
So.
Well, when I was a kid, my dad was in the Air Force, and he was stationed overseas in southern Italy. And every day at 4:30 p.m., the American national anthem would play on base, and everybody had, if you were walking, you had to come to a stop.
Right.
Turn to wherever the base flag was,
sure,
which was, several miles away. You couldn't see it, but you know what direction it is because that's just the thing you do.
Right.
And if you're driving, if you hear it or you see people pulled over, you got to pull over. Like, everything came to a fucking halt.
Right.
And they would play the American national anthem followed by the Italian national anthem because we were on their land.
Right.
Even though we were and we weren't. I mean, the base is considered American land.
Right.
But being
Italy
hosted,
allows that to happen.
Yes.
So they are still your host.
And come to find out later as an adult that they weren't exactly happy we were there. So it's a good thing that we were playing their anthem.
Yeah. I mean, happy we're there. That's
something different.
I think on a national level they probably are, but like the people locally probably don't want the base there, 'cause
right?
It does things to that area. But overall,
I just remember, like, as a kid, I couldn't understand like why they were kind of mean.
Sure.
Like, of course they were mean. We're like, we live here now.
You're intruding in their community.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, of course they were like...
But overall, you offer protection against,
sure,
let's say Russia or, whatever. I mean, we're NATO, that's... We're protecting our own.
Of course.
And so overall, as far as Italy's concerned,
yes,
it's a good thing. But when you... Like, let's
individual is different from the overall society.
Right. No, I mean, if we had a base set up here from Italy... Let's just say, and it was a military base, and it caused a bunch of people to come into town that always took up our streets and, went to the bars and all that kind of stuff.
And we're as obnoxious as Americans in other countries.
Right. It might be irritating to us too, I mean, that's...
Right.
It is what it is,
Right. No, I just... we were stationed there right during the beginnings of Operation Shield and then into Operation Desert Storm.
Right.
Desert Shield and Desert Storm.
Right.
And so we had Italian forces on base called Alpines. And
I actually met some of them one time, and I was, I had
such mixed feelings, because on the one hand, they were, so cool looking.
Right.
In their uniforms, and, it was just really cool seeing, a foreign military. I mean, obviously, we were the foreigners, but...
Right, but to them, they were foreign.
Well, to us...
Or to you, they were foreign.
Yeah, to us, because we are walking around on our little corner of America in another country. They felt like foreigners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is just, a strange concept now to try to... untangle.
Right.
So on the one hand, I was like, whoa, massively cool and impressive and very nifty, And then on the other hand, those guys had zero patience for us kids, and they were so mean and which makes sense now. I hold no angst about that. I'm just oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just respecting each other's lands and respecting each other's flags. That's how we got off on that topic.
Yep.
Okay. So Asimov goes on to say, in later times, however, as a consciousness of the universality of Yahweh grew among the Israelites, and as a feeling deepened that there was only one God, not only for the Israelites, but for all the world, that there was one only God, the attitude of the Yahwists towards the gods of other tribes hardened.
Right.
The foreign gods were not only potential enemies, they were no gods at all. At most, they were demons who imposed their worship on the ignorant, unenlightened, or wicked.
And you can see that when they refer to them merely as idols and stuff like that. So, you can see that starting to happen in the Bible.
Exactly. So, I'm really appreciating Asimov's...
where we're at and what we're reading.
I'm appreciating Asimov's perspective and spelling this out, and I'm appreciating that we're further ahead so that we're seeing what he's talking about come to pass.
Right. No, it's kind of neat.
Yeah. I don't know how this fucking worked out, but...
Right, but it worked out really well.
Yeah, because this has happened more than once where he has said something from back then that's impacting what we're reading now.
Right, yeah.
So, cool. Next section is Heshbon on page 180. Okay, and he's referring to Numbers chapter 21, verse 24.
Okay.
And basically what happens is Israel demanded passage through the land of the Amorites, ruled by Sihon, who had only recently defeated the Moabites. Okay?
Yep.
When passage was refused, the Israelites attacked and defeated the Amorites.
Right.
So remember how, Sihon was give me that, I want it?
Yeah.
With regard to Heshbon?
Yep.
And so, the Moabites were it's still ours. But then Israel was it's ours now.
Right.
And so, but the Moabites were I still want it. That used to be ours.
Right.
But they were in no position to ask for it back.
Right.
Because they got slapped down first by Sihon, and now they watched, Sihon get defeated, and so they're womp womp. I guess we don't get that back.
Right.
So then in Numbers chapter 21, verse 25, states, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites in Heshbon. And to summarize that, Asimov says, Heshbon was the chief city of the region. It is still there as a town in Jordan with the Arabic name of Heshbon.
Interesting.
Yeah. I started to go down a rabbit hole, and then I had to pull myself back. So there is a group of people, it's a very small group of people who resides there called Druzes or Druses.
Okay.
Asimov referred to them as Druze, as the Druze. But then when I looked it up, Wikipedia calls it the Druze. So I'm wondering if it's one of those American versus British things where the S versus the Z sometimes happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, these guys, they're so fucking cool. I'm gonna have to look into them at some point and do this whole rabbit hole on them. But they were basically these mercenaries who were for hire, right? All the time. I mean, that's what a mercenary is. So anyway, they were always getting hired out, and people got sick of them because they. This is before they were called the Druze. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you how they got there.
Sure.
So these guys, everybody was sick of the mercenary people that they were, whatever group of people they were, because you would hire them and they would help you defeat your enemy, but then no matter what kind of deal you made with the people that you hired them from, these motherfuckers would come in and they would loot and pillage and rape and just like they'd be like,
wow.
We love a good fight, hell yeah, we will fight for you, pay me, thank you, and now I'm gonna go finish the job even more than you wanted.
Right.
So
got it. Yeah.
Everybody left, right, up and down was like, fuck these motherfuckers, oh my god.
But we need help, so pay them, I guess.
So what they did, like, they all kind of like gathered together and like pushed them out.
Got it.
So eventually these guys ended up like in this little area of Heshbon, okay?
Yep.
And surrounding areas, I think Lebanon was one of the places that they named. I'm terrible with the map. I think that was one of them. The Jordan River, I think, was like all that area.
Well, they were in Jordan, so yeah, that makes sense.
Right. So anyway, okay. So these guys are living their best life there, okay?
Okay.
And they're just trying to be left alone. So then they've got people from the north coming down going, you're going to believe in this God. And then they've got, like, Christians from the south coming up going, no, you're going to believe in our God. And they're like, we just like to pillage and rape.
Right.
We're not really about God, okay?
Yeah.
So what they did was they hired all of these different, like, a council of religious leaders. Okay? To come in and, like, say, okay, talk to us about all these religions.
Right.
And so now they are more into like enlightenment and spiritualism.
Really?
Yeah. So what they did was, this sounds cool, what they are now. What they were at the time was, how can we get out of having to choose sides? Because these motherfuckers' religions are both like not what we want. And if we pick one over the other, it's going to offend and cause war. And
this may sound weird, but like it's a thing in like fantasy things where you would have druids. Mm-hmm. And the name sounds similar. Is it like maybe based on these guys?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no fucking idea.
That was just like a real stretch for me, but I just kept thinking about it because of the name. And like then when you said the spiritualness and like how they changed because they're like, fuck these gods.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe they went back to nature. Maybe these are the... I don't know.
I don't know. And you know what? It is entirely possible because, like I said, I had to pull myself out of what I was looking at.
Sure.
It is entirely possible that I'm confusing two entirely different people and making them into one.
Right.
Okay?
I got you.
I'm putting that out there. But it was so fucking cool because now these guys, whatever they're called, they have like this book called like the Epistles of Wisdom or something.
Wait, they have a book?
That. Yeah.
Is it, like, available?
I tried to find it. I told you I was in a rabbit hole. I couldn't find it. Like, it's not available through the library. I couldn't find it on Amazon. I did not do... Those are the only two places I looked. I will do a deeper dive. I'm telling you.
Now I'm really curious.
I know.
I'm like, a book? What?
Yeah.
A book?
Yeah. There is a book on their belief system, which, again, is just so not... They do believe in various prophets...
Okay.
Among which are, like, Jesus and Noah and Muhammad and...
Really?
Like, they basically took all of the religions and made a soup of them and took all the best parts and were like, all your heroes, all of the guys that you think are all magical, and all of your prophets, they're all on equal footing with us.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, I need to know more. And I was like so excited that I was like, okay, stop. That's not what we're here to do today.
Right.
So, okay, that was my little rabbit hole for the day. Sorry. Let me get back on track about Heshbon.
Okay. Yeah.
So, anyway, as Asimov said, it's still there today, the Arabic name of Heshbon.
Got it.
Okay?
Yep.
So, that's that section.
Okay.
And rabbit hole.
Right.
Okay. So, the next section is Bashan.
Okay.
Of the Og variety.
Yeah, Og.
On page 180. Okay? And we remember this story.
Og of Bashan.
Og of
How
Bashan.
can you forget Og of Bashan?
Og of Bashan, not Aga.
I know.
Og of Bashan.
Oshkosh Bagosh.
Oshkosh Bagosh.
Og of Bagan.
Yeah. So in Heshbon, the Israelites had a base from which to launch the conquest of Canaan itself.
Okay.
They were like, fuck yeah, we do.
Right.
Okay. That base, however, had to be broadened as widely as possible. Asimov didn't say why. He just said it just did.
It did.
Though.
It just did.
And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So that's why they went after Bashan in Numbers chapter 21, verse 33. And they turned and went up by the way of Bashan. And Og, the king of Bashan, went out against them to the battle of Edrei.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. They mention in the Bible, I think we probably completely overlooked this because who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
The quality of its cattle became proverbial in biblical times. Okay?
Okay.
So Asimov points out several different places where, like, they refer to, like, the fucking cattle of this place.
Gotcha.
And I didn't write it down
I
because
didn't realize
again,
that, but okay.
Yeah, like, who cares?
Right.
Well, some of them I don't think we've come to yet.
Okay.
Like, it's just, like, those, like, weird passages where, like, they'll be talking about, and then we marched here, and we marched thither and yon, and it was as those cattle of Lore and Edrei
Right,
or whatever.
right,
You know,
yeah.
that kind of thing.
I
And you're
got it.
like, fuck ever, okay?
Right.
Cattle of whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Who fuck cares?
And it would go, like, over our head. And
Right.
when we get there, it will probably go
Still
over
go
our
over,
head.
yeah.
Because who cares? It's cattle, right?
Right.
So, Bashan was famous for its fucking cattle, and was also famous for its oaks.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Edrei, the site of the battle between Og and the Israelites,
Yeah.
exists now as the town of Jerah, right on the Jordanian border.
Huh.
Wait, maybe that's the land I was thinking of with the rabbit hole.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I bet that's it.
Got it.
See, sorry, I on purpose did not write this down because I was like, I'm not here to study that. Stop. But I couldn't help myself.
Okay.
So, okay. Sorry, nothing. Okay, Og of Bashan was reputed to be a giant, remember?
Right. And we went down the rabbit hole with him a while back because
We did.
He might have hitched a ride on the fucking ark.
Yeah, Asimov gets into that, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. He just reiterates what we already knew.
Huh. Yeah.
Anyway, he might have been a giant based on the measurements of his bed,
He
which
might
would
be
have
giant.
been right, which were measured to be 13 feet long and 6 feet wide.
Maybe dude just likes a big bed. I'm just saying.
I like big beds, and I cannot lie. So, this is what Asimov says. A large bed, to be sure, though it need not be taken that Og's body had to fill it top to bottom and side to side.
Exactly.
So, not only that, but there's, like, places where graves have these, what do you call them, like, these concrete bedding, like, things that are laid over the graves.
Okay.
And he's like, for all we know, when they said quote-unquote bed, they
Could've
meant,
grave.
like, the final resting place,
Right.
and that his grave was huge.
Right.
So, we don't know what they meant specifically by bed.
Right.
It might have been, you know...
Well, and I remember they did display his bed for a while, which
Yeah.
could be construed as a casket, maybe, or a grave,
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that could... Yeah, that would make actually more sense, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, why would you display a fucking bed?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird. So, I don't know. Whatever. I'm still not impressed.
Right, yeah.
It's just fun, but not, like...
Sure.
Whatever.
Right.
So, Asimov goes on to say, later rabbinical writers expanded on Og's size and made him the last of the Nephilim who lived before the flood. To survive the flood, however, Og would have had to be in Noah's Ark, into which he could not fit. The legend makers have it then that he sat astride the ark and was fed by Noah till the waters fell. And then he goes on to say, Greek myths had an ancient king Ogyges who reigned during a great deluge. So
Okay.
we kind of talked about that a little bit, that they had, you know, a flood god guy back then too.
Right.
The manner of Og's legendary death is also dramatic. He raised a huge mountain to hurl at the Israelites and tripped and fell in the attempt. Thereupon, Moses himself leaped at him and killed him.
Oh my god.
It is very likely that this last picture of Og is borrowed from the semi-comic Greek myth of the revolt of the giants against Zeus and the Olympians. Those giants hurled mountains but were slain anyway.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all he had
another
to say
stolen
about that.
story.
All of them are.
I know.
So, that's that section. Next, we have Balaam on page 183. Yeah. So, the fact that the Israelites conquered Heshbon and Bashan had Moab all scared. Moab was like shaking in its boots, and they were like, oh, fuck. Even though they hadn't been specifically targeted, they couldn't exactly be like, hey, can we have our Heshbon that you just took from Sihon?
Right.
Can we have that back?
Yeah.
So, Balak, the king of Moab, Balak. Sorry.
Right.
The king of Moab decided on a supernatural attack since he knew that, like, a physical attack wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
So that's why he went to Balaam.
Right.
Who was a well-known sorcerer or magician of his time. One who was believed to know the rites whereby supernatural help or harm could be called down, and who had demonstrated his knowledge and skill, at least to the satisfaction of common report.
I just thought it was odd at the time, like he was somebody who was quote-unquote talking to God, and up until that point in the Bible, we're like, it's all Moses, Moses is the only one talking to God.
Well,
and then all of a sudden there's this guy just over there who's talking to God.
Well, Asimov has some shit to say about him, which I found very interesting. So, Balaam's power was accepted even by the Israelites. And nowhere in the Bible is his power to bless and curse derided. So, yeah, he was there. He had this power, period, the end. He was strong, period, the end.
Yeah.
Okay? It is rather treated as a fortunate miracle that God chose to make Balaam's curses come to nothing, which you recall is true, right?
But I thought he didn't actually curse the Israelites in the end. Like God told him not to curse them. I thought
that's kind of what happened, but that's what he's saying.
Okay.
It's like, whew, thank goodness God intervened.
But then, like, this may not be covered in here. We might not be there yet. But like, I still remember, like, after this was all over, Balaam got killed by the Israelites, and I'm like, what?
Well, that's going to be in a different section.
Right. No, I know.
I'm not covering today, but Asimov did say, and I'm almost done here, so just hang on, okay? Balaam served for hire. He was basically a mercenary, but, like, for God.
But God's okay with this?
I can't tell you that.
God has mercenaries. The fuck?
I cannot tell you that.
Okay.
I wasn't there, I don't know, and the Bible doesn't say.
God,
okay?
Yeah, okay.
The Bible doesn't say. Balaam served for hire and bestowed his blessings and curses, not necessarily as inspired to do so by God, but in response to the fees he was offered by those who wished to employ him. For this reason, the expression Balaamite is used to describe someone who uses religion primarily as a money-making device.
Oh.
So,
now I have to start using that.
Yes. I was like,
awesome.
That is fucking fantastic, because that's like a deep cut.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, you like, fucking Balaamite.
Not only did you cut them, but you're like, you cut them with their own shit.
Yeah.
And like, if they don't get it, then that's even funnier.
Yeah.
Because like, whatever, dude.
You're a Balaamite. What? Exactly. Balaamite says what? Yeah. So that finishes my covering of Asimov.
Was that one finished strong?
Yeah.
I like that one. That was good. We should just like end it right here, don't you think?
Well, I mean, I would like to.
Oh yeah, we gotta cover. Yeah.
To say what I'm doing.
Right. We got.
Next
I'm
week.
sorry. I wanted to end it so bad right there. No, we gotta cover it. All right.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right.
Next time we'll be finishing up the Book of Numbers, on pages 184 through 192.
Okay.
And those topics will be Baal, Pigsa, Unicorn, the Daughters of Moab, and Gilead.
All right.
And I was right. After that will finish the Book of Numbers, and then after that, the following week, we will do the Book of Deuteronomy, which is like 14 pages.
Got it.
So
got it.
That's that.
All right.
Fucking Balaamite.
Down with the Balaamites. Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my god. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Hey wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my god. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.